Welcome back to Suspenders on Button podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to welcome back director Jason Bourque. Welcome back, Jason.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Julie. I love what you guys do. So anytime you can call me up and I'll talk about anything. It's all good.
Well, so will we. So we make fast friends, I think. But welcome back. This is fun. You have a new Christmas movie airing this weekend.
I do.
It is this weekend, correct?
Yeah, on the 25th.
Yeah, the 26th.
Yeah.
25th, yep.
25th.
So welcome. Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper is the movie.
Yep.
And we're excited to talk all about it.
Totally. So I'm already in the Christmas spirit. I have my pug shirt.
Yeah.
Or my pug
I'm like, I better wear red.
I got nothing Christmas going. I'm feeling left out. I was not planning this right.
Well, this is awesome. Well, I'm glad that you guys are getting behind this one. I truly think that we were kind of like thinking on set, Kimberly and Robert and I, that we were sort of like we went a little rogue with the comedy, it gets a little goofy, a little bit more of a pop culture kind of melting pot a little bit with this one. A lot of references to some craziness.
I know. Yeah. I was thinking maybe there should be some sort of bingo card for did you catch them all?
We had a lot. Yes, a lot of Easter eggs. And I have to say, some of that comes out of Russell Hainline. Are you guys familiar with the writer?
We are.
We got Russell on the podcast.
Hot Frosty. That's
Hot Frosty.
I know.
Yeah.
We came so close. We actually have a scene in the movie, which you two know of, which is a crazy costume party. We came very close to having the bare-chested dude with the scarf.
Yes.
But, technically that's Netflix. So we didn't want to mention it.
But there was a nod. There's a nod to it.
There's a bit of,
which I think they've already shown in a promo.
We're here for a nod, and Russell writes some really fun stuff, and he's a great guy. We really enjoyed having him on the podcast last year, and he's just wonderful.
He's so funny. Lots of laughs in this one. We definitely kept the rom-com element to it, but it's interesting that this one was actually developed by Rob. So he pitched it. Okay. He's an exec. He was the one who was able to get this to Hallmark and team up with Russell. So fascinating that and awesome that some of these incredible creatives are taking that leap and developing their own stories to tell, which I think, if anything, it's just we know that it's a tip of the iceberg. He's capable of so much stuff, and then to see him actually maybe cut loose a little bit more on this one, I think is fantastic. Like his dance moves, cutting loose. Yeah. Not to give too much away, but he does have a dance sequence.
Okay, so I didn't realize that it was Rob's concept. Yeah. But I feel like this is the perfect melding of people. We've talked with Rob before, and we just laughed the entire podcast. He's so hysterical. Funny. And then Russell writes it, who we know writes such great comedy. We know that you're really great at that too. Then you add in Kimberly Sested, and it's just the perfect combination.
I think so too. It was comedy gold on set, and we also had and I've done a few of these now, but this one felt to me like the supporting characters were incredibly funny as well, through the roof funny. Like Megan, who plays the sister, the Will Ferrell elf, when she's in costume. Oh boy, does she knows how to cut loose, and she can hold her own with Rob, which is pretty amazing. So they're both very good, and Kimberly as well with the ad-libs. So Russell, he gives us this incredible script, but on set, admittedly, things kind of develop, and we play within the Hallmark sandbox, but the jokes become fast and furious, and they're kind of making stuff up sometimes. So it's a bit of a comedy technique. Will Ferrell and those guys use it, Judd Apatow type stuff. And it totally worked with this one. So some of those funny lines, that's just Rob on the fly or Kimberly coming up with something. It's pretty fun when they get to cut loose.
Yeah. So would you say Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper brings us some infectious lines?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know. It's funny, all the horrible things that happen to his character. He's always getting little infections or accidents, a few extra stunts in this, eh? Like we played up on some physical comedy.
Physical comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little slapstick, which is a little old school 80s with that type of stuff. But it was interesting for me because we actually had like a little bit of a stunt sequence. Like when he gets that tree in the face, like that's quite the flip. And when he falls off the the step ladder, I mean that was a pretty good little stunt.
There's quite a few physical things that are happening in this that gives you that old school Christmas movie feel. Like, you're worried that there's going to be a squirrel coming out of the tree at any moment.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this one, and so did the stunt guy that had to play his double. Especially falling off.
That was going to be my next question. Did Rob get to do his own stunts?
I bet he's like a Tom Cruise. He wants to do all his own stunts, obviously, but just because of insurance issues, it's always a bit of a battle. So he did have a double for the fall off of the ladder, and the guy that actually got hit by the Christmas tree, who does that crazy flip.
Yeah.
Even though Rob would be awesome and he could totally pull that off because he's like a John Ritter, like old school John Ritter, like some of these guys that were just great with that type of physical comedy. So we had a double for that as well. But the setup was good, eh? It's like all these crazy accidents, and knowing that we had to shoot we didn't actually shoot at a hospital, so that was a combination of a built set. And the history of that building, not to give too much away, this is a little bit of a tidbit. The building that we shot in was actually a weed factory. So and we got there, and so we had to take like the front of the place, and they just closed down because weed's bigger in California, surprisingly. So they shut down this giant multi-million-dollar weed factory, and they took it all to California. So this factory was kind of empty. So we built the whole intro area, which was great, with the reception desk for the hospital. We had a standing set. But what was funny is my favorite sequence, because I'm an 80s kid, is that crazy escape room.
Yes.
So I was going to say it was the escape room.
Yes,
in the
scene. That's actually part of the weed factory.
There's some little CBD presents sitting there for us.
Those giant tanks that have all the, we put crazy labels on those amazing stainless steel tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But we got to. That's what we do as creatives. We do a lot of pivots, and we know that we got to shoot incredibly fast, incredibly creative.
Yes.
And part of my job is how to get this amazing production value. So, Russell is awesome as a writer, but it was kind of like a basic type of a setup with that escape room. And then once we saw the weed factory, we're like, let's go big. We can make this into a steampunk, crazy Santa Claus thing. And we just went for it, all based on the location we found.
Okay, I am going to say, like, the setup, though, for people who know the Santa Claus movies, it really gives you the Santa Claus factory feel.
It's huge. Yeah. We went
because I'm like, this is not an escape room. This is an escape area.
It was so beautifully out there with and things developed. None of that was in the script. Like hitting the button, that little elf, and setting off the giant blast of steam. That was like, we just went off on a crazy tangent, went a little rogue. The production designer was up on it, and for me, that was one of my favorite sequences.
I think the steampunk feel, people really, really like that. It really sets that scene apart. It's got a fun look, and really brings that Christmas feel.
Oh, totally. And for me, it felt like a Joe Dante Explorers Gremlins type of feel to it, with the finding of the box and pulling out the teddy bear and all that fun stuff. And the colors were fantastic.
Colors were fantastic. Yeah.
Very talented director of photography. So Nelson Talbot, usually he actually has a twin brother, Graham, and we had to split up the twins. So Peter Benson just did his Montana Christmas. So he had Graham, and then I had the other identical twin, Nelson. But these were the guys that did one I did last year called A Reason for the Season.
Yep.
Which also was very cinematic, and I'm very competitive with these things. I always go out of my way to how can we get the most production value. And this one also felt big to me, like the giant bus at night and all the snow and these beautiful locations to create that hospital look. Because as we know, I mean, Rob's character is always having accidents, so he's always turning up, and that's how Kimberly playing the doctor ends up like, here he is again, with the pokes in the eye
So
and all that fun
convenient.
stuff.
She's a doctor.
Yeah,
It's perfectly convenient.
she's
Yeah.
wonderful at that too. Yeah, Kimberly, as we know, there's certain roles that she can play that almost feel like a little bit more damaged, a little bit more grounded, and it was such a wonderful contrast to Rob, I found. So so I think those two together was like it was a perfect match for me.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever would have said like, oh, I really wish Rob and Kimberly would do a movie together. But now I'm like, they were so good together.
So good.
Let's get them another one. I'm really glad you've been talking about the sets and the physical environment, because I was thinking about it when you have to film in a lot of locations, like in this one. How do you use the physical environment to kind of shape the tone of the film that you're
it's fun.
The scenes that you're trying to film.
Yeah, so we knew with this one that we did want to raise the bar. We always go into these when we read the scripts and how can we elevate it? How can we make it stand out? And I think with this one, because we knew we had some pretty big set pieces that on paper needed to be different. We've all seen the Christmas party. So for us, and this was based on Russell's idea, how could we elevate the Christmas party into something that was just insane? Originally, it was going to be in the living room of that house, but then it turned out that they had a barn next door that wasn't even something we had considered until, wait a second, how can we go bigger with it? How can we, again, which we did. I think the barn actually, as a combination, you show up at the house in your crazy costume, you go to the barn to dance. It really helped elevate it, and the same with having the festival as well with the crazy giant gingerbread characters.
Mm-hmm.
We tried a couple things, it's very subtle references to the YMCA thing, with the police officer gingerbread dude and the guy, the worker gingerbread dude.
Yeah,
we pushed it again, like little references. Even like
I was waiting for a gumdrop button.
Yes,
not the gumdrop button.
we were working it. The also with the, I think originally, and again things develop. It was only going to be, I think, like a usual Uber picking them up. And that developed in that crazy character, in the giant limo with the music and the lights and the crazy rave party in the back. Again, we felt like we were going a little rogue. I mean, we felt like, okay, what can we do to really bring this wonderful Christmas energy to it and make it pop? I think make it pop. So that was really something that we focused a lot on. Again, knowing that ultimately it's the heart of it, and it's all about the relationships, and especially with Robert and Kimberly bringing that to it. And also this one has that B plot as well, just with the brother-sister relationship, which was also very key to the story. And that's where, again, Megan, I think, you probably found she was pretty funny. I mean, yeah, she knows how to cut loose and just bring in wonderful chemistry with Rob as well.
Sometimes when we're watching these movies, you wonder, could they have been not a holiday movie? But I feel like when I watch yours, A Reason for the Season was a very different movie than Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper. But you always make sure there is something in the shot that we're watching that really brings that holiday feeling. Do you really look out to make sure that that's happening in your movies?
I do. And also the execs. We know that there is somewhat of a formula, in which case we want to work in as much Christmas as we can. And just to create the overall feel of ultimately a Hallmark movie. But yeah, we definitely go out of our way knowing that without wanting to do anything that feels cliche. At this stage for me, and also we're all veterans working on it. And if we can avoid the cliche and subvert it, then I think the audience can tell that we're going out of our way to make it extra creative. So that's also part of it as well. So we truly understand the sandbox that we're playing in, the Hallmark sandbox. But and I talked to Robert a lot about this, and also Kimberly as well. They so love the audience, and they so love the fans, and they take it so seriously, even though it's playtime on set. so seriously to deliver to the audience. And, you know, again, that's for all of us. So Heather Coots, for example, the production designer, obviously super creative, like that crazy sled with the giant, you know, like jets on the side of it. And you know, some of those locations, because we don't have a big budget. You know, she was really bringing her A game to this as well. So, you know, we have about 60 people working on it, locations going out of their way to find places that are very different. I'm sure that, you know, for a while we had this gazebo in Christmas movies that got used way too much out in Vancouver. I think Saturday Night Live made fun of it, so we kind of stay away from that gazebo.
It's iconic if it's being made fun of on Saturday Night Live. Like,
yeah, we always go out of our way again to put that spin on it. But this one, I truly feel like it for me, it felt different.
It was different.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? And I think it was different for more than one reason. I think the comedic elements for sure is something we don't really get to see a lot. But also, we have a movie named after the male character, which we don't often get. And it felt a little bit more like we were following Ted in his adventure. We don't normally get that. We're normally focused mostly on the female lead, and we get the, you know, the love interest, and sometimes you get it. But it felt, this movie, I wouldn't even say it felt more like a male lead, but it felt really more even, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Kimberly, she loves to tease, and she was teasing Robert throughout this whole process because she had a few less shooting days, and she was so used to having to take everything on her shoulders as you know, basically as the number one. And so she was, you know, like, I can sleep in, I can go to the spa, good luck. She would just like run off, really enjoying the fact that she didn't have as much pressure on her as she usually does. That being said, I found that her character also resonates emotionally. So I think for her, she's always trying to work out just so her character clicks. She needs to truly understand, you know, what makes this character special. And how that tracks within the arc of the character, and she's wonderful at that. So again, it was a really nice way of her to kind of like cement it emotionally. This one, I find, it was great having those two, as I mentioned, together, because creatively, it is a roller coaster. Like our poor scripty, the continuity is trying to track all these crazy fun jokes. So that these guys can just whip this stuff up.
I can only imagine what it was like.
Yeah. Great.
Especially, you know, Kimberly has a resume of behind her that's just beyond impressive, between acting and writing, and the comedic icon things that she does. She plays kind of the straight in this, in the crazy, but her comedic timing is like, how do you buy that? How do you bottle that?
Yeah, she has that dry wit, I think.
Yeah.
I've worked with her before on a movie called Game of Love, and that one she was playing even more of like a lone wolf, and again she just really tracks these characters. Like it's you don't think about this stuff, but when they have the script, it's full of Post-it notes and scribbles, and they you know, actors like Robert and Kimberly, they're such veterans, they got to put the time in. So I find that the amount of notes and backstory and work they actually put into these portrayals, it's a whole lot. It's pretty amazing when you realize how much work they put into it.
Yeah, and it shows too. I think as a viewer watching their work. So tell us, like, walk us through kind of how the three of you would work together in these scenes. Like, you're saying that there's a lot of ad lib and all these jokes are flying. So like, how are you all, the three of you, working together and kind of making it work so it's not too crazy out there? And...
I know, it's interesting because, and some of it's a combo of for me to keep it on track. When I say keep it on track, it has to do with the amount of time I can spend on certain stuff as well, because the schedules are so incredibly tight. So to give an example, like this is one even with Megan. I think when Megan was on the phone and Rob is trying to find his phone, and he's kind of like in the background, just going back and forth, like ripping up cushions. And then he comes up right beside her, and because they're playing brother and sister, he did this annoying thing that I think he has a sister as well, where he goes like, ay, like really loud in her ear, like just to annoy her. And it's again, it wasn't something that was planned. Previously, I kind of pitched to him this idea that he's just running around in the background and then just runs into his close-up. So technically, it's like a oneer. I don't have to cover a lot of that. So it works from a comedy standpoint, from like a funny ad lib we weren't expecting, and works for schedule because we could do it very quickly. So it's so for me, I have to work on multiple levels, and the same's with Kimberly as well. So when we have scenes together, I'm constantly thinking of how I can do it with the least amount of setups, but giving them the opportunity to bring as much comedy to it as we can. And comedy, a lot of it's based on reaction shots. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know how much of it made the cut, but when they, when they finally get together, that main beat that we all know and love with Something Like a Kiss, we had so many fun cutaways to Megan. Like, Megan was the cutaway queen. So anytime I wanted to really accentuate the comedy, I just cut to her, because she knows, even if I'm focusing on something that it could be like a Rob saying a line or Kimberly saying a line, if I do a clean shot on like Megan, she's always going to do some kind of crazy face. She's always going to give me some kind of funny reaction. And she was a queen of that. Like that happened at the party quite a bit. When she's dancing as an elf, and she made up that little ad lib, she actually throws to the DJ about changing the music.
Yes.
That actually wasn't in the script. That's her being so incredibly good. She throws in an ad lib that actually kind of, fixed a little plot hole. So.
And then you gotta love that when a little plot hole comes around.
Totally. So it's. I think for me, a lot of it has to do with having actors that trust. They trust me. They trust in the process. Trust is the main thing. So they know that they can cut loose, and if it's too big with the comedy, we'll always pull it back. Or Hallmark will pull it back. So sometimes I do have some of those scenes, we kind of play them a couple different ways. We have some that are maybe a little bit more over the top, and some that are a little more subtle. When Hallmark throws in their 2 cents, sometimes, they may want us to pull it back for tonal issues, so it doesn't become too wacky. As you can tell with this one, it went wacky.
How do you keep the comedy, but then still show that heart? Like, how do you find that balance in a scene?
I know, that's a big one. A lot of that is it's discussion. So the way we work it on set is that we kind of block it out as to who goes where, and then I go to the green room. So I could be sitting with Rob and Kimberly, and we're running the lines, and we're changing the lines as we go. So as they're upstairs lighting a big scene, we're down basically workshopping the scene and making sure, as you said, that the comedy doesn't overshadow the heart. Or vice versa. Like it's there are times that the comedy is full on and we fully embrace it. But the heart's the main thing. And we know this one does have a lot of emotional scenes as well. But when you look at his crew, those crazy seniors that kind of follow him around in their
That's
tracksuits.
my favorite part.
That's full on comedy.
Sometimes in a movie like this, it's those extra little things that always just have you and making the movie move right along, and you're like right there for them. Or when they're coming back, you're like, besties, they're coming back. So did you, as a director, have a favorite scene that you shot during this movie?
Oh, I am partial to the full on craziness of that escape. Yeah, the escape room. For me, that visually, what we were able to do with it, showing the camaraderie between the two of them, and the chemistry starts to really play, and they can almost finish each other's sentences. That for me was probably one of the highlights. That and the party, because the party gets a little on the crazy side as well. When you have Timmy doing his breakdancing moves, that was like, and he's doing the crazy spins, and there's like. And all those were ad libs that they were coming up with. Kimberly, oh, that's a guy from The Office, and we just see this guy doing these crazy moves on the dance floor. That was mostly Rob, Kimberly, Megan, just in the moment, throwing out these amazing ad libs on the sheer craziness of what they were looking at.
So the escape room. Earlier, you talked about. So you're talking about now to the visuals or the coloring. Tell us a little bit about the coloring for that. You already talked about how you had great containers from the.
Well, the funny thing is, so when we were shooting that scene, we realized that we had a whole other set that was partially built, and because we're being so incredibly ambitious, and originally they were actually going to go into a whole other space, and it was going to be like a runway with that sled was going to be on it, and it was going to be all covered in snow, and it's like a launch system. Well, it turns out we ran out of time. So what we had to do was like, okay, great. Let's take all these crazy colors and let's change them to like a bluish green. And let's take that sled quickly. Let's roll it out of this set because we couldn't get it done in time. Roll it back into this set and flip everything around in order to make it work. So this goes along with the roller coaster of craziness. That we have to pivot very quickly if we know we won't make our day one way. How can we have all hands on deck? Let's switch out those Christmas lights, do this, this, and this, and everybody's working as a crazy, chaotic, not to say mess, it's like organized chaos.
Yeah.
And then we pulled it off.
Yeah, the scene. I can't wait for people to see it. There's a glow to that scene, to those
beautiful
spaces. There's a glow, and like you really feel Christmas when you're
so much Christmas with those beautiful shiny. And it's funny the detail, like even having the presents, having like the shiny paper with all the presents, and then inside the presents are these crazy little IDs for like these poor elves that have to work. You know, it's like even the detail. Like if you ever saw those props, they were hilarious with the amount of work they put into those. So lots of little details in this one, without a doubt.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so we were talking about colors, and sometimes when we talk to directors, and I don't know if we even talked about this about a reason for a season with you last year, but sometimes we'll hear that certain colors and lighting are used to kind of help the mood.
Yep.
Of a scene or of a movie in general. So when you're shooting a movie like this that's got so much comedy, how is that compared to when you're doing something more serious? Like, does the lighting play that much of a role, or is it?
It's interesting.
A little different?
So I find, and not to harp on some older Hallmark movies, but some of them I thought back in the day were quite flatly lit. It's basically with sort of like an overall soft light, and for me that feels a little more sitcomish.
Right.
What I like to do, and especially when I'm working with the director of photography with Nelson, he's very cinematic. So we actually go into it instead of thinking we're doing a Hallmark movie, it's like we're doing a feature film for Hallmark.
Yeah.
So a lot more backlight. We do have scenes which I truly feel are cinematic and cinematic in the sense that it also has to do with like character. So for me, like one of the most beautiful moments, and it's a very short little scene. It's him on the bus. It's at night. There's no dialogue, and it's that crazy biker dude who just kind of like leans his head on his shoulder as he's falling asleep. And for me, that was a standout scene. It's short, but Robert plays it with such a beautiful smile when he looks over at him. And he doesn't mind that this guy's falling asleep on his shoulder, even though he's a big, rough biker dude. It totally summed up what Ted was all about. And with that one line of dialogue. So for me, that's the cinema, that's the magic, and the way it was lit, actually, with that warm, beautiful light. And we call it PMP, poor man's process. It's an old term, but that bus is actually, it's just like sitting there on a lot, and we have to make all those lights blast by, and we have to come up with a crazy lighting rig to make it seem like the bus is in motion.
Right.
So quite a bit of work for 20 seconds, but for me, again, that was the magic of that scene. I thought it worked out beautifully.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's such a small moment, but it really shows who Ted is and what he's all about.
Oh, yeah. Such a big heart. Yeah. That's what I liked about his character was that so just, I don't know, just he radiated warmth for me. And even though he has such incredibly bad luck, he's such a pure soul, this character. Which is unique. I don't think I've had a character like that in one of these Christmas movies before. That's full on, that just radiates goodness.
Right, like his biggest flaw is that he's just so So much like a
Nice.
teddy bear, right? Like he's so lovable.
Yeah, and he does have to stand up for himself, and he does have
Yeah.
that realization, but without losing who he is.
Right.
And that was,
Right.
so that's very important, and also Kimberly's character realizing that as well. So it's very much about acceptance. And they do grow together, and Kimberly's character is a little bit more on the damaged side, and so she kind of grows from this relationship with Ted. So yeah, a lot of beautiful moments for me, combined with that extra little bit of like, craziness.
So we've talked about all these wonderful different aspects to this movie. What do you think really makes Merry Christmas Ted Cooper stand out from other movies in this genre?
I think it's a combination. One, you guys touched upon it. We don't come across too many that it is from a very much a male perspective. This was always Rob's baby. He pitched it to Hallmark. He developed it, and I think being about Ted Cooper just kind of makes it a little more unique. I think that's one thing. I think the other thing is the comedy to it, which this is what Russell gave us such a beautiful foundation. It is very much for me a little bit more of a pop culture melting pot, and that makes it a little bit more relevant. It'll never date it. I don't think that'll ever happen. But I do, and that's one of the dangers of pop culture, is that you can date a movie. But I think what Russell brought to it also makes it stand out a little bit more, just with that extra little bit of name dropping and references. So I think that's going to make it stand out. I like to think from the pack. Plus, I mean, for myself, I love a good energy and a good pace. That was a big thing for me.
We love a good Easter egg, and so I think you're right that those Easter eggs are very iconic and classic, and it'll make this a bit timeless, and people can still discover them.
It makes it timeless, but also relevant at the same time. Right?
Yeah,
Right.
I would think so. So I'm curious, what was your favorite scene? Because you guys have seen it.
Oh, I think honestly the best. I made me laugh because I watched it once and skimmed another time, and we just got it. So the ladies with the tracksuits, and then Kimberly says something like, "Does your fan club always wear matching suits or something?" And I thought
Matthew Breakdown's outfit.
yeah.
Oh, they were so funny. They had such a great leader. Incredibly funny actor, and again, she would come up with a lot of ad libs as well. Because usually,
She's great.
I was going to say, like, usually when we cast these, I don't have a lot of control sometimes over the background actors, but I felt like her little group, the background casting nailed it. Like each, you know what I mean? Like usually, and it has to do with like if they speak, they get an upgrade and it gets a whole lot more expensive. So she had to have her little troupe, and for me, that they were cast so incredibly well. So very happy with that does have some good comedy and how they always kind of show up.
No, I think that whole day was my favorite kind of sequence, because then they end up in the bar, and I loved that.
Yeah, the bar sequence as well. We were pretty happy with it. The bar just felt nice and Christmassy, and again, it had that kind of warmth. So the cinematographer I thought did a fantastic job in that bar sequence. It also allowed.
And then you get like some of their banter, and then you get some of these little deep things thrown in. So I enjoyed the mix of that.
Yeah, lots of beautiful moments.
And the Christmas moments in there too. Like we've done holiday themed bars at events in the past too, and it's just kind of gives you a little bit of that. So that's super fun. I'm gonna say I love the escape room, but visually, because it took me right to the Santa Claus immediately. I was like right there. But because it also does this like from a lot of silliness and fun, all the way to a good sit and I love a good sit and talk.
Yeah.
So
we played it. It's very much for me. It's very much a roller coaster. You can have the laughs, but you still need the heart. And like I said, the pace as well, and allowing some scenes to breathe. So the fact that they were trapped and then they had that moment together of sitting on Santa's sleigh. I was very happy with that scene. That worked out wonderfully.
The way Kimberly sits in that scene is so spot on. Like it's so many movies like this, they're like sitting like very proper and they're having their chats, and she does not choose that. She chooses how, like, if you're, we won't give it away, but if you're sitting and chatting for a long time, how you really kind of end up just being. And it was just like, I'm like, oh, she's making all the right choices.
Oh, she's amazing. A testament to her acting. The seat on the sled was actually broken, so she had to like. It was very uncomfortable for her throughout that entire sequence. But she's so incredibly good. She made it work.
She did make it work. Oh gosh, that's funny. I'll never watch that again. Like the same. Like poor Kimberly.
So good.
Excuse me. So you mentioned about having how scenes breathe.
Yes.
And you have to have that room. And I really think that stood out to me while watching, because although we have all these funny moments and sometimes there's a lot going on, there's also these little moments and we get to be in the little moments. It didn't feel rushed, I guess. And
yes.
I enjoy that because like Julie said, we love a sit and talk. We love when we get to have those moments between the characters. So yeah, even again, going back to the bar scene, we get some of that there too. And I think that's why I like it.
Yeah, it's a combination, keeping it grounded. Yeah. It's I did one last year called Our Holiday Story with yeah, that one had like, it was interesting because doing something like that where everything's like a whip pan and crazy energy to it, with very short little scenes. But again, even with that one, it's a combination of like crazy pace and visuals, but wanting to slow it down so these characters can really connect. So now I don't know, maybe that's my style on Christmas movies. It's kind of developing.
Well, I was going to ask you what is something in this movie that says like this is a Jason Bourque movie? Like, what's your style? Ooh. Maybe that's what it is.
Huh. For me, the goofiness, again, being an '80s kid, the discovery of the it felt like a Gremlins movie or something when they hold up that teddy bear out of the box and the smoke and all of that craziness. For me, that's something which is close to my heart. I am pretty goofy, and I'm goofy on set. I do feel like having someone like Robert on set is infectious. Like he just didn't want to stop dancing in that snowman outfit.
I mean, he just brings an energy anyways, right?
Oh yeah, and the background can feel it. So when you have those type of scenes and you have a lead that really wanted to cut loose and has such an infectious energy, and in some ways he is like a Ted Cooper. All the background can feel it, and they're having fun, and the energy just goes up. It really goes up, and that's why that Christmas party for me also was a bit of a standout scene. And still having the romance. It's as we mentioned, it has like the craziness and the full out laughs, and then coming back to connection when they slow dance. So it's keeping that roller coaster for everyone. So I can't wait on getting feedback on this one. Out of all the ones that I've done, this one I'm most curious about. I think because as we all know, it's like we have a little bit more slapstick to it. We have some craziness mixed in with the heart.
Yeah,
I like
this
it.
one, I told my husband, you need to watch Saturday's movie. Because, I don't think all of them are his favorite. And I'm like, you need to watch Saturday's movie. You're going to like this one.
Awesome. Yeah, we got to spread the word.
When you were just talking, and it made me think, I feel like a lot of these movies, we always have the B storyline as like another little romance going on, whether it's even like a husband and wife team or another sort of thing. So I really did like, again, that the focus was really on Ted and, oh my gosh, what's her name? Hope?
Yep.
Hope. Yes. So and of course we have the relationship with his sister going on too, but I just really enjoyed that that's the focus. And it felt, as another 80s kid, it felt very much like a Christmas movie that I grew up watching or something.
Yeah, me too. I felt like I'm so happy we captured that. And also, it's interesting because when you think of it, this is about Ted Cooper in many ways. It's also about his relationship with women. Like it's like
Yeah.
with between Kimberly and Megan, and if you think of the trifecta, then it's also and I can't think of her name offhand, but it's his relationship with the his teacher.
Yes.
Right. She's very much his Yoda. She's there giving advice and throughout that, again, another relationship which I think was quite special. So it's structurally, I think it just makes for a little bit of a different story than what we're used to.
So, but yes, it is very, even though we're getting this kind of from the male perspective, it is kind of very female driven.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think so. And especially because Kimberly, again, brings so much to it and has such in many ways, almost like a little bit more of a complicated arc because, again, and she grounds it. She's very much she's someone who's dealing with actually having her dad who had recently passed away. And she hasn't had the best, relationships lately. And so she does have some baggage, I think. And she's always willing to go deep into that, which I think also helps ground it. She's just a wonderful character. For me, one of my favorite scenes also is just having the two of them when she gets out the light and she's like looking at his eye. Yeah. And she's just noticing his eye color and kind of connecting, but she's very nuanced. Like she's so good at that.
Right. Kimberly gives those great nuanced pieces. You're talking about these two characters both. I love that both characters have a story arc. They both have flaws and they both have things they need to overcome. As a viewer, we sometimes don't see that in these movies. As a director, do you enjoy like directing something that has a story with both of them?
It's interesting. Like, I don't know if this will answer your question, but I found with both myself and Rob are givers. We're both like, our personalities are very much like a Ted Cooper. And I found there's a lot of discussion on set about being a pleaser, being someone avoiding conflict. It's like being so incredibly loyal that sometimes we even hold ourselves back. And you don't think about ourselves as much because you just think of everyone else and you take everyone else, their weight on our shoulders. So it was interesting for me. And that's what I liked about this. Like in some ways there's a Ted Cooper, deep inside of me. And Rob could also like very much because he also came up with the idea. So, and there's a lot of us on the crew just really understood who Ted was. And I think that was very fascinating. I think a lot of people watching this movie, they're going to know a Ted Cooper, or they're going to see a Ted Cooper and say, "Yeah, that's me."
Right.
Yeah.
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 It's fun. I love that both characters had stories to tell and growth to happen during this story, which is a lot of fun. You filmed in a lot of locations for this movie.
We did.
How do you use that physical environment when it's changing all the time to shape the movie? Like as a director, what do you got to go through here?
It's interesting. Like we knew it was going to be extra special with like their old house, and that developed. Like we wanted to have a house that felt like the usual Hallmark house. So luckily we were able to nail that down, and then we decided, well, this house is a little too big for Megan's character, who doesn't exactly have a job that can afford this. So then we came up with a plot line, kind of like on the fly, that this was actually used to be owned by their parents. Yeah. So again, a lot of it kind of develops as we find the ideal locations. And like I said, that hospital was that's made up of 3 different locations. That's a standing set. That's the weed factory, and that's also at a rec center on a top floor where we happen to be doing the party down below, the Christmas festival. So that took 3 locations to kind of make that one hospital location. So which is a testament again to the production designer and to the scheduling, our assistant director, to pull this off. So we again, we were hoping that, and it sounds like we managed to do this, that it just felt like it has more scope to it. The world felt very much fleshed out, I found, with this little town. And, it was a little bit more with the set builds than usual. Usually we don't afford, or we can't get into actual building sets because we have to move so quickly, but this one we needed to.
Okay. So when that happens, what has to shift like that so since you don't normally do that, something else probably has to give.
Yeah, like it's I have to work that balance, and it has to be just very creative. Like as I mentioned, how it kind of developed with the escape room. That original room they walk into, where there's like that little window and there's like the elf behind it. That's actually a police interrogation room from a whole other movie. So we're like, okay, we got this box. How can we work this in to make it a little more unique? So we took out the two-way mirror that you usually look through if you're a convict and you're again interviewed. And so that was an example of like, okay, we need to use this because it gives me more time to work with the actors. So we can find those comedy beats. So this one had a lot of balancing, more so than usual, of okay, we need to have little mini moves. We got like 20 locations. How can we combine them all together so I just simply have more time to work with the actors? So it's
less time traveling around.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we had like we shot at this one area that had it's like a university that gave us the community center. It also gave us the exterior of the bus station, and also gave us the police station. That's literally all side by side.
Nice.
And that's how we had to pull it off. So it's otherwise, again, it's like we can't afford to take this giant circus and 60 people and move us midday. It's like, how can we combine it all together? So this was really much this was very much a puzzle. And again, even though I want the big visuals and how can we make this stand out, the last thing I want to do is lose the time, especially when ultimately it's Robert and Kimberly. So so that's always my balancing act, because for me, the more time I spend with them, the better it gets.
Yeah, I could see how, because so much is happening in this one movie, that could kind of make everything else get lost.
Yeah.
Like, because it's all about the location and all that. So but I think you made it work.
Well, I think the way you're selling the cannabis manufacturing site, there are going to be other people lining up to be using that warehouse, because they're going to be like, there's big rooms and there's containers.
I know. It gave us, we used that for the hospital set. We totally came up with like creative ways of making it work with the escape room. The actual office as well, for the bullpen. For the whole television studio was actually there as well.
Yeah.
And then we built the set for the that whole opening, all within one location again, which happened to be a weed factory.
But now abandoned and there for you to use.
Yes, so. And you're right. I'm sure every Christmas producer out there is going to look at this thinking, how did they pull that off? We're going to this location next year.
We're using the cannabis manufacturing facility.
The cannabis factory.
Let's go.
We're going to recognize it in all the movies now. Saturday Night Live will be making fun of it.
I also love that it failed as a business, and so it's available.
That's what we do as filmmakers. We look for those opportunities. And it's funny, I just completed a TV series called Blue Skies, and it's a national park ranger, and she works with her dog that has like mysterious military skills, and they needed a hospital, and I'm like, I know the hospital for you. And that, go out this way, take a left, there's an abandoned cannabis factory, it'll give you the hospital set. And they're like, yes.
I know the place.
Because we're a community, so as soon as something like that comes up, we're like vultures. It's like,
that place is going to get used all the time now.
It was perfect for us. Steampunk Santa Claus toy factory escape room.
Yes.
Where do you find that?
I mean, it's. I love it when you're like, it's giving steampunk. I mean, you started out with the vats and all those things. Like, it's just gonna start giving you a vibe, and you gotta go with
and then
it.
it grows. Then it's like, okay, well, if we have this, then we need the ominous Santa Claus voice, like, 10 seconds to the destruction of Christmas. It kind of writes itself.
I bet this was a very fun set to work on.
Right.
We loved it. We had such a good time. Such a good time.
With
luckily
Robert Buckley.
Oh yeah.
I want to work with him again. When he was on our podcast, he comes in, he says hi, then he goes out and comes back in and changes his nameplate to Matt Damon. So he is on our podcast the whole time as Matt Damon.
Yeah, that just set the tone. We had never met him before.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, you can say.
He's
awesome.
So funny.
Yeah.
It's his character just he cracks me up. And again, the script had a lot of references that a lot of people I think it's gonna make them smile. Yeah. And laugh. Lots of laughs in this one.
Yeah. Okay, so you talked about how there's a lot of references to things of the past, but and things that you grew up watching and stuff. But what about holiday traditions? Do you have like a holiday tradition or something that's special to you about the holidays that somehow made it into this film?
That's a good point. I mean, I don't have a lot of my holiday traditions are pretty simple. Like it's we have these things in Canada called after eights. It's like this green box of these these wonderful little after dinner mints, and I've been having that in my stocking since I was like 1 year old. So it's like that's a little tradition for me, and obviously family dinners are always a tradition. So nothing really from that, and I mean I always put a lot of myself into these movies. If anything, it's just more had to do with the goofy humor, which I could work it in, and this is going to sound a little wacky, but I mean my background is also sci-fi action movies, so anytime I get to do an actual stunt. I find that's always exciting, and I got to storyboard it. Like sometimes it's like working out that fall off the ladder was actually a little more complicated than most, with having the Christmas lights coming down towards the lens and the physical comedy of it. So that stuff takes a little bit more planning than usual.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So that for me, I love the problem solving.
Speaking of the board, I also loved the board that's in this movie, the actual board. I thought that was funny. I don't want to say more and give anything away, but that made me laugh every time.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like I said, I hope that the audience like super connects with this one. It sounds like you two connected with it.
Yes.
So yes, exactly.
Yes, very much enjoyed it. At first I said to myself, why did they choose this movie to kind of air so early in the countdown? But then now that I think about it, I think it's perfect actually, because it's really fun and it kind of gets you in the spirit. And I think it's a great way to kind of set off, the countdown to Christmas. So
awesome.
I hope everybody enjoys it. And rewatches. I hope they all rewatch.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what do you hope that viewers will take away from watching Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper?
It's for me, and also with Robert and Kimberly, and again, we always talk about this on set. It's always wanting to give the audience, it's like the feeling of a big warm hug, and I kind of think I think America needs that even more so than ever before. So I think for us as creatives, wanting to leave the audience with that warmth and smile and having the fuzzies, it's so important to every crew member when we work on these. And I'm not saying that there's nothing cynical, there's nothing jaded. It's truly honest. Like that's what we set out to do. So that was my main thing with this, is just leaving everybody with that warm hug, and it does end with a bit of a laugh as well, of coming back to that goofiness. And I think that for us was really key. So it's so that's my main thing is the a big virtual hug.
Love that. And if you could describe this movie in 3 words, what would they be?
Oh, that's so tough. I mean, on set we love the idea that and again, it's within the sandbox of Hallmark, but we like to think we went a little rogue. So I would say rogue. I think kind of kicks in. Like there were times on set where like, is this a little too wacky? Is this Uber guy, and that Uber car, is this just a little too out there? But Rogue is definitely one, and obviously Heartfelt is the other one. As Rogue, Heartfelt, and oh boy, well, we got some slapstick moments, but I wouldn't call it slapstick. Yeah, I got to think about that. I think it's this one felt like we had a little bit more world building to it. Yeah, I don't know. I got to think what that third one would be. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I don't know. Julie?
I don't know. You could just be like so simple and say weather.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, I was overthinking it. Yeah, weather's definitely something.
Say weather.
No, I kind of think, oh, how would I describe it? I think it is kind of cozy.
Cozy, yes. Yeah, we definitely have a lot of
It feels
warmth.
like a movie I want to sit down and actually pay attention to and watch while I'm wrapping presents even, or while my family's sitting around and watching a Christmas movie. It feels like one of those movies I would put on.
Yes, it's definitely cozy. So we got Rogue, Cozy, and Heartfelt.
Yeah, I love it.
That works.
I love it.
And I have to say, so we often get asked by people we are talking with what kind of movie we would want. And Julie and I both said on numerous occasions we want something from more of a male perspective.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I was so excited to get this. I was pleasantly surprised that that's what it was. So
nice. Yeah, we're seeing that a little bit more, huh? Like the groomsmen, I think, and Three Wise Men series, which
right. But we've not really had like this standalone movie yet. It's just been those series, right? So
that's a good point. Is this the first one that's been sort of like a standalone?
I mean, I don't want to like claim it, but I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Certainly in the Christmas movie realm of things, for sure. It just feels unique, and it's kind of fun. And to have such a strong, two very strong leads really makes it work so well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so lucky to be again, first time working with Rob, and he was fantastic. And for me, like working with Kimberly again was that's a dream. Like I love working with Kimberly. So I don't know, hopefully we get a sequel or something out of these. They got to start making sequels. When you know it's good. Yeah.
I was going to say, can we get like some other Ted Cooper? I mean, this could keep going, right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Like we'll get on Russell to write something again.
No, here now I know what I'm going to say. Does this movie leave us with the potential for more?
Ooh, I hope. I like the balance on this one with the comedy and this character. I would like to think that we're all going to fall in love with Ted Cooper to the point that everyone's going to want a sequel. And I think Rob really pulled that off. I think Ted Cooper's so original, and at the same time, as I mentioned, I'm a little bit of a Ted Cooper. I know friends that are a little bit of that Ted Cooper. So I think he's such a universal character. I think everyone's going to be able to relate to this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. He reminds me a little bit of Ted on How I Met Your Mother.
Yep.
Yeah, just kind of connected that. But so yes, I could totally see there could be so many other Ted Coopers. Happy Easter, Ted Cooper, like whatever. We can get one for every holiday.
Yeah, you could do a Happy Halloween Ted Cooper. That's actually a very good point. I might pitch that actually.
Yeah,
great. Idea.
I mean, I think the audience will be all in on that. And again, like you talked about, like you could bring in new characters too. Like there's just so many opportunities in this little world that you started to build. I hope that happens. That would be really fun.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to give too much away, but it's like, he is potentially moving on to another gig at a bigger city, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So who knows? And we need to see more Ted and Hope.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Ted's Excellent Adventures could be could be moving on.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm all about that.
so speaking of Excellent Adventures, after Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper, do you have any other projects that we can look for?
Oh, I'm actually on one called The Patient Woman, and it's for Lifetime. So it's actually an adaptation of a book, but very dark and a little creepy. Nothing to do with Christmas. Ripped from the headlines. True story. That's born out of British Columbia. So that's what I've been kind of working on. So it's something which hopefully I'll be directing it probably sometime. I think before the summer. But yeah, so I'm in writing mode right now. Just finished off Blue Skies, and I'm hoping to come back on that TV series. I think it's a new series. It's a procedural. It's awesome, and I got to work with dogs, and not to say I prefer dogs over actors, but these dogs were fantastic. I just love
it. Has it aired yet? Blue Skies?
Not yet. It's gonna
not yet.
I think in February will be the first episode. So just for you guys to look out for it. So I just finished my block. I just did my editing.
What network is that coming out on?
I think it might be Up TV.
Okay.
Yep. And then maybe Amazon or something might pick it up. I think there's lots of options that the executive producers are working into. It's 8 episodes, and it's I love a good procedural with a dog.
Mm-hmm. With the dog.
Yeah, with the dog.
A smart dog.
Yeah, totally smart dog. Solving crimes in national parks. I'm in.
And a national park is even another bonus. Absolutely.
Yes. Totally.
Bonus.
So
Love
I'm always
it.
busy, which I'm lucky and blessed that I can keep at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we're lucky too because we get to watch your work. So,
thank you.
I'm happy you're busy. Would you play a Christmas version of our favorites game with us?
Yeah, of course.
Hopefully we did not do this last year with you. But what is your favorite holiday movie?
Oh, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
that was easy.
That surprises me not very much at all. It's such a great movie. Do you have a favorite holiday tradition?
Ooh, I mentioned the after eights, but that's a Canadian thing in my stocking. So yeah, I'm all about stockings in the morning on Christmas Day. Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah, stockings have always been my favorite.
Yeah.
So I relate to that.
Yeah, all about stockings.
Yeah. What about, I was going to ask you your favorite holiday food, but it might be the after eights.
Ooh, that's candy. I mean, I love pumpkin pie. I know that's a little Thanksgiving-ish. With like a cream cheese icing. Yeah, I love anything like that. I love turkey dinners. I'm all about turkey dinners. Yeah, love it.
I'm all about the leftovers too afterwards.
I like Yorkshire pudding. When it's like Yorkshire pudding and it's like in a bowl of like crusty goodness, and then it's like full of gravy, and then you can like dip your turkey into it. So that's always something.
Do you make that?
I have no cooking skills whatsoever.
So no, you just enjoy other people.
Yeah. My wife, she's very good at that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite holiday song?
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
It's always fun and always makes everybody start singing silly. So
yeah, it's silly. That's me. So yeah, I would say that's my favorite.
It's the perfect song actually for this movie too, I think.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm all about funny craziness during Christmas. And I like to dress up. I think Christmas is a good time to dress up in a Christmas costume. Yeah, all about the elves, all about like the little antlers and all that fun stuff.
So you're the guy that walks around all Christmas with like different things.
Totally. Yeah, why not? If my sweater lit up with giant Christmas lights, I'd love that. I'm in.
Yeah, the crazier the sweater, the better.
Yes,
where I work.
I love ugly Christmas sweater parties. That's something which I got to throw in the mix. I love those.
Yeah. I feel like we need to have one in my neighborhood, so maybe I better work on that. Nobody throws fun things like that.
Yeah. I might have some leftovers from that our Christmas story, because you know how they got trapped on that train. There was like an ugly Christmas convention, Christmas tree, no, Christmas sweater convention.
That's right.
So I think there's some left over in costumes.
So next Christmas movie, we'll need ugly sweaters.
Yes. We should do that. Hey, I'll get hopefully another Christmas movie going. So next time, sometime next year, we could all like do this wearing ugly Christmas sweaters.
Yeah. Then I'll come with something less boring than my current outfit.
All good.
Because
it works.
You know, clearly I just have on what I wore to work today. So.
Perfect. Okay, Jason, can you tell everybody the name of your movie and when and where to watch it?
Ooh, okay. So Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper. It's coming out this Saturday. I think it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, is that like Eastern time or?
Yes.
Yeah. So please check it out. We're very proud of it. So yeah, this Saturday is the big premiere on Hallmark Channel.
Fun. And where can people follow you on social media?
Ooh, you can follow me with my Instagram account. That's probably best. So it's jbourque1, Bourque. So yeah, totally. Perfect. Feel free to do that. And I sometimes post funny stuff. I'm on Facebook as well. Not too much on Twitter, but I like Instagram.
Yeah. I feel like most people hang out there. Yeah. These days anyway. But well, thank you so much for being here with us. This was fun. We really enjoyed the movie and getting to talk with you about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and thanks for taking the time to watch it.
Well, thank you everybody for watching or listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.